They were never just pets. They were always something more. You always felt it. In those quiet, electric moments when your dog gazes into your soul, or your cat stares into the dark corners of the room as if guarding something ancient, something unseen. This wasn't just animal instinct. It wasn't just affection. It was a language without words, a presence that knew you before you knew yourself. Something deeper is happening. Veterinarians are baffled. Neuroscientists are curious. And spiritual traditions, from Himalayan monks to indigenous shamans, have known it all along. Animals aren't just companions. They're soul guides in disguise. They arrive in your life exactly when your heart fractures. They curl beside you when no one else sees your sadness. And they move through your home like silent protectors, cleansing, sensing, remembering. Yin and Yang. Two guardians, one purpose. Dogs, radiant, active, solar. The guardians of energy fields, protectors of hearts, who sense danger before it comes and pull you back into presence. Cats, subtle, lunar, mystical. The sentinels of invisible portals, who walk the edges of dreams and dissolve dark energies without a sound. Two poles, two masters, one mission, to assist your awakening. The prophets already knew it. Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, saw it coming. He spoke of dogs awakening to their spiritual purpose, becoming energy healers and telepathic bridges in a time of planetary change. Rupert Sheldrake, the biologist turned mystic, confirmed it, documenting thousands of cases of animals sensing emotions, illness, and thought across distance. And long before both, Madame Blavatsky warned us. The souls of animals evolve in proximity to man, gaining awareness, absorbing pain, and guarding spiritual thresholds. This isn't fantasy, it's remembrance. The ancients knew, and now the signs are manifesting everywhere. Dogs who detect illness before doctors. Cats who leave the room when spirits are heavy and return only after the space is clear. Animals who appear in dreams, guiding you, warning you, awakening you. The question is no longer if, but are you ready? Ready to recognize that the creature beside you, breathing softly while you sleep, might be a being of light in earthly form. Because the veils are thinning, the frequencies are rising, and the animals have heard the call. This is not a story, it's a transmission. And if you found this message, it means you were meant to remember. Chapter 1. The First Signs. How dogs and cats are already responding to the shift. You may have thought it was a coincidence. Your dog standing at the door before you even touch your keys? Your cat pacing the room minutes before a phone call delivers unexpected news? The way they seem to feel what you don't say, see what you can't see, and know things they shouldn't. But this is not coincidence. It is a response to the shift. Something ancient is stirring within them. Veterinarians around the world are quietly reporting a surge in cases. Dogs detecting illness before symptoms appear. Cats refusing to enter certain rooms, then re-entering after the energy changes. Animal shelters have begun documenting strange patterns. Certain dogs and cats forming instant, intense bonds with humans who are grieving, sick, or lost. It's as if they're being drawn to specific souls, as if they recognize the ones they were sent to help. Science is struggling to catch up. At Duke University, behavioral researchers have observed dogs responding to thoughts, not just commands. In Madrid, veterinarians documented animals reacting to emotional trauma before humans express it. And in thousands of homes around the world, people are whispering the same thing. My pet knows things. My pet feels things. My pet is healing me. The activation has begun. It started subtly. Restlessness before your arrival home. A paw placed exactly where your body holds tension. A sudden change in behavior the moment you begin to lose your balance. But now, it's accelerating. Since the early 2000s, cases of animal intuition, healing, and telepathic connection have surged globally. And it's not limited to one breed, one species, or one place. From rural farms to inner-city apartments, from huskies to mixed breeds, from Siamese cats to rescued strays, they are all waking up. Why now? Because the Earth is changing. Its frequency is rising, and so is yours. And your animals, especially dogs and cats, are living antennas, picking up the very signals that your nervous system has forgotten how to hear. They're not reacting to the physical. They're responding to something deeper. Your energy, your emotional field, and the invisible patterns shaping your life. And they're not just sensing, they're choosing. Have you ever felt like your dog or cat found you, not the other way around? Like they entered your life at the exact moment your soul cracked open? That's because they did. They are not here to entertain you. They're here to hold space for your transformation. They're not random pets. They're assigned guardians. And the first signs were never small. You just didn't know how to interpret them until now.
Chapter 2. The Telepathic Bond. When animals start reading your mind. It begins with a thought, a fleeting emotion, a subtle shift in your internal state. You think no one noticed. You hide it from your friends. You smile at the world. But in the other room, your dog stirs. Your cat lifts her head, eyes narrowed, as if listening to something unspoken. And somehow, they know. You didn't say it, but they heard it. You didn't call, but they came. You didn't show pain, but they curled into your chest and stayed exactly where you needed them. It's not magic, it's telepathy, and it's not rare, it's awakening. Science is catching whispers of the impossible. In over 4,000 documented cases, Dr. Rupert Sheldrake observed dogs and cats responding to the mental intentions of their humans, not just verbal commands. One dog knew the exact moment its owner decided to come home, even when the commute varied each day. One cat began pacing the floor 20 minutes before a panic attack, before any visible symptoms appeared. I think awareness is in some kind of field. If these beings are in tune with that field, then I think of my dog or cat and they begin to respond, often before I have a mental image of one of them, or I start to miss them. This is not emotional guessing. It's energetic resonance. Your animal is not decoding your face. They're syncing with your vibrational field. Dogs feel your pulses. Cats attune to your frequency shifts. One moves with you, the other moves ahead of you, scanning, sensing, buffering the unseen. Together, they form a kind of living feedback loop between your consciousness and the subtle architecture of the invisible. Your thoughts are not silent to them. They hear your worry. They smell your sadness. They detect the ripple in your energy before it becomes a wave. And when the bond deepens, they begin to respond to commands you never say aloud. Come, stay with me, protect me. And somehow, they do.
Cats and dogs receive in different languages, but speak the same soul. Dogs, with their open hearts and vibrant fields, respond instantly, moving toward you, grounding you, shielding your space. Cats, with their lunar quietude and magnetic aura, remain still, letting your energy find balance in their silent field. They don't just understand emotions, they stabilize them. They don't just hear your words, they hear your vibration. Telepathy is not a gift, it's a return to how beings once communicated, before language, before technology, before separation. And animals never lost it. We did. But in their presence, in their gaze, in the stillness between thoughts, they're offering it back to us. Not as a trick, not as a miracle, but as a remembering.
Chapter 3: Emotional Alchemy.
how animals transmute what you can't take. There are things inside you that you haven't been able to name, griefs left unspoken, ancestral weight, invisible fears curled in the corners of your chest. And somehow, your animal, who has never read your past, carries it with you, sometimes for you. The moment you break, they rise. You hold it in for days. You smile through chaos. You fall asleep pretending everything's fine. But in the middle of the night, your dog rises from deep sleep and lays their head across your heart. Or your cat appears silently, circles once, and then rests exactly where your body holds the tension. They know what you won't say, and they absorb what you don't release. This is not affection, it's alchemy, energetic alchemy. Dogs often take it into their bodies, breathing it through their nervous systems, discharging it through trembling, yawning, shaking, or even barking at empty space. Cats pull it through stillness, drawing it into their field, transmuting it in silence, releasing it while you sleep. One moves the storm, the other neutralizes it. Together, they are alchemical mirrors of your internal landscape, transforming chaos into calm, grief into grace. The signs are everywhere. Shelters report animals refusing to leave the side of a child in mourning. Hospitals tell stories of therapy dogs walking directly to the patient no one realized was deteriorating. And energy workers speak of cats trembling during sessions, then vanishing, only to return renewed, lighter, clearer. And in homes across the world, people are noticing the same ritual. The dog who patrols the hallway every night. The cat who stares for hours at the corner where an argument took place. The animal who suddenly withdraws, only to return when your energy is calm again.
What are they doing? They're cleansing what your aura can't handle. They're processing emotions you've locked away. They're holding the energy so you don't collapse beneath it. They are doing the spiritual work no one sees, and they do it without asking for recognition. Because they don't love you for what you give them. They love you for what your soul is still becoming. Blavatsky wrote, "The souls of animals, when near humans, absorb fragments of higher awareness and begin to serve as carriers of invisible burdens." She wasn't speaking metaphorically. She saw what mystics, monks, and medicine women have always known. Some animals don't just comfort, they heal. And now, in this vibrational turning point, they're not just healing, they're awakening. Your pain is not yours alone anymore. The beings beside you, those you called pets, have entered your energetic field with permission, and they've made a silent vow to carry what you cannot, to cleanse what you suppress, to stay until the frequency shifts. They are not here to fix you. They are here to walk you back to coherence. And their mission is already underway.
Chapter 4: Guardians of the Field. How dogs and cats protect your energy. You may think they're just watching the door, but they're watching the unseen. You may think they're simply walking in circles, but they're scanning the field. What looks like routine, what feels like instinct, is often a sacred mission unfolding in silence. Because dogs and cats are not just emotional companions, they are vibrational protectors. They guard your field, even when you're unaware. Your dog who barks at nothing is sensing an energetic shift entering your space. Your cat who won't let a certain visitor get close is reading a distortion in that person's field, one you haven't yet perceived. This is not misbehavior. It's emotional hypersensitivity in action. It's the work of a psychic animal tuned to protect your home, your heart, and your evolution. The signs have been increasing. Veterinarians and energy practitioners have documented a surge of animals who display telepathic connection, advanced environmental sensitivity, and behaviors that align with spiritual guardianship. Hospitals report therapy dogs refusing to enter rooms with dense emotional fields. Healers speak of cats placing themselves between a client and an incoming energetic interference. Families describe animals walking the home at night like sentinels, only pausing in rooms that feel off. And when they finish, you sleep deeper. You breathe easier. You feel safer, even if you don't know why. What you call protection, they call purpose. Your dog isn't just lying at your feet, they're anchoring your nervous system. Your cat isn't just sitting near your crown, they're harmonizing your electromagnetic field. My dog saved me, but not in a way the world understands. My cat knew I was in danger long before I did. These are not coincidences. They're echoes of a guardian mission awakening within them.
Cayce saw it coming. In one of his final visions, Edgar Cayce said, "The four-legged guardians will awaken when the earth enters its new vibration." He didn't mean someday, he meant now. Because we are already in the age of planetary awakening, and our animals are responding. They are aligning with higher frequencies, reading energetic patterns before they manifest, and becoming sentient bridges between dimensions of reality. They shield more than just physical space. They guard your emotional landscape. They repel psychic interference. They transmute energetic intrusions, often taking it into themselves, so that your system doesn't collapse under the weight. They are empathic guardians, energetic sentinels, spiritual filters for a world growing louder, heavier, faster. And when no one sees you, they do. When the world feels too much, they form an invisible wall between you and the chaos. When your mind spirals, they lay across your chest, pressing your soul back into presence. When your energy is scattered, they pull you back to coherence with a glance, a paw, a single breath beside you. Because they were not sent here to obey. They were sent here to stabilize your field during the storm. And you were not chosen by accident. They saw your light and chose to protect it.
Chapter 5. Sacred Companions of the Shift. Why they came into your life now. They didn't arrive by chance. Not the way they looked at you at the shelter, not the way they showed up at your door, not the way they chose you out of everyone. You may have thought you rescued them, but what if they were sent for you? What if, in this exact moment of planetary transition, you entered into a silent soul contract with a sacred being in a fur-covered form? The timing is never random, it's divine. The surge of awakening animals isn't a trend, it's a response to something deeper than you can see. The earth is shifting. The human nervous system is overwhelmed, and many souls are forgetting why they came. So these guardians arrive not to lead you, but to stand beside you, anchoring your field while you remember who you are. You called them long before you met them. On a vibrational level, your frequency emitted a signal, a resonance of wounded light, a need for comfort beyond language, a crack in the armor of your spirit that said, "I'm ready." And across timelines, soul clusters, and the web of cosmic intelligence, they answered. Not just as emotional support, but as energetic collaborators in your healing. The bond between you is not emotional, it's encoded. That instant recognition, the way they knew your rhythm before you knew theirs, the way they started mirroring your moods, illnesses, dreams, that's not behavioral conditioning. That's spiritual memory. They remembered you before you remembered yourself.
Animal intuition is multidimensional. They don't just feel emotions. They feel vibrational fields. They sense when you're misaligned. They know when your system is scattered. They detect when trauma is rising long before it erupts. And when your ego would hide, they appear, laying at your feet, blocking the door, breathing with you until your energy settles. That is not affection. That is spiritual sensitivity in action. The awakening is accelerating, and they're arriving faster. In recent years, animal shelters report unprecedented levels of instant connections. Stray animals are finding their way to precise locations, exact families, exact souls, as if they're being guided, because they are. Your home became a portal. Your life became an anchor point, and their guardian mission became active the moment you said yes. You didn't choose a pet. You received a partner, a sacred companion sent to walk beside you through emotional terrain, energetic storms, and karmic transitions. They are here to stabilize your vibration while you remember your cosmic identity. They're not just with you to cuddle. They're with you to co-regulate your frequency. Because the soul remembers what the mind forgets. You are not alone in this shift. And if you're still wondering why they came, look at the moment they entered your life. Was it during grief, heartbreak, spiritual crisis, or just before you awakened? Then know this: that moment wasn't coincidence, it was prophecy. And now you are no longer walking alone.
Chapter 6. Telepathy. dreams, and the morphic field, how they communicate beyond space and time. There are things your animal knows that you've never said out loud. There are days they appear beside you the moment your heart breaks, without a sound, without a call, without a single signal from the outside. Because what connects you is not voice, it's frequency. What holds you together is not touch, it's resonance. Animal telepathy is not science fiction, it's spiritual science. Rupert Sheldrake, after decades of research, confirmed it. Thousands of dogs and cats are responding to non-local awareness, receiving information from their humans across miles, across cities, even across war zones. One dog waits at the door the moment their human thinks about returning home, even if they're hours away. A cat stares into the hallway seconds before a panic attack begins. And no one taught them this, because they didn't learn it, they remembered it. The morphic field is alive between you. There's a field of energy that binds all living things, a morphic resonance that stores memory, emotion, intention. And your animal lives inside your version of it. They feel when your frequency drops. They rise when your vibration collapses. And they tune themselves to you like a living, breathing antenna, picking up every silent signal you emit. Some of them don't just respond, they dream with you. Hundreds of people report the same mysterious phenomena, a dream of their dog speaking, warning, guiding, a vision of their cat standing in a temple, transmitting light codes, a message received during sleep that mirrors the pet's waking behavior the next morning. These are not dreams. These are shared journeys through the subconscious ether, moments when the veil thins and the sacred connection between species becomes undeniable.
And in moments of trauma, they arrive before you even ask. Soldiers at war, their dogs back home suddenly crying or trembling the moment danger strikes. Children in hospitals, their cats becoming agitated hours before the diagnosis comes. Partners in different cities whose pets react simultaneously to unspoken emotional shifts. This is not behavior. This is multi-dimensional perception. This is animal consciousness activating on a higher octave. Telepathic communication doesn't need words. Sometimes you think, "Come here," and they do. Sometimes you send love silently, and they soften. Sometimes you cry quietly, and they rise, not to fix you, but to absorb the vibration. This is not just emotional bonding, it's soul technology. It's the return of a forgotten language spoken through intention, emotion, and energetic texture. Their nervous systems are tuned to coherence. Cats enter stillness to recalibrate you. Dogs enter movement to ground you. Both are using their presence as a tool to guide your return to harmony. They don't analyze you. They don't judge your pain. They don't need explanation. They just feel the pattern and respond with pure frequency intelligence. They are not just in your home. They are inside your field, inside your subconscious, inside your vibrational signature, inside your evolution. And when the outer world becomes too loud, they become the quiet portal back to inner knowing. You don't have to say a word. They already received the message, because their purpose was never just to listen. It was to remind you that you are never truly disconnected. Not from yourself, not from them, not from the sacred.
Chapter 7. Beings of light in disguise. Are they evolved souls sent to guide you? What if the animal beside you was never meant to remain an animal? What if beneath the fur, the purr, the wagging tail lives the consciousness of a guide, a healer, a being of light who chose form over formlessness so they could walk beside you right now? What if that look in their eyes isn't just affection, but remembrance? Some are not here to learn. They are here to serve. Not all animals incarnate to evolve. Some already evolved, but chose to return, to wrap their light in fur, to enter this density in silence, and to anchor the new frequency beside a human in transition. You. Edgar Cayce hinted at it. Blavatsky spoke of it. Quote, "Beings of higher consciousness may enter the lower kingdoms not to ascend, but to assist." Unquote. And now, spiritual practitioners across the world are saying the same thing. Quote, "My animal isn't just a pet. They're a presence, a pulse of peace, a field of wisdom in motion." Unquote. Because some animals don't simply comfort, they catalyze. They stabilize awakenings, absorb karmic tension, and hold the human nervous system through intense transformation. Their behavior feels too precise to be instinct. They arrive at key moments. They touch exactly where the energy blocks. They look at you like they know something you forgot. And you wonder, why does it feel like they're guiding me, not the other way around? Why do I feel like they've been with me before? Why do I dream of them in forms not quite animal? Because they remember. These are not pets. These are missioned souls. And they came not for your comfort, but for your awakening. Some carry light codes in their aura. Some hold your ancestral grief without a word. Some arrived to protect a child, cleanse the lineage, or delay a breakdown until you were strong enough to face it. They are the quiet forces behind your spiritual survival, and they asked for nothing in return. You've seen it in their eyes, that ancient look, that steady gaze, the moment where time pauses and you feel like someone or something is looking through them and into you. It's not your imagination. It's their true self flickering through the veil. A flicker of the soul beyond the body. A spark of the contract you once made in the space between lifetimes. I'll walk into density with you. When you forget, I'll stay. When you break, I'll hold. When you awaken, I'll leave. Not every dog is just a dog. Not every cat is just a cat. Some are sacred incarnations, temporary vessels for light intelligence, messengers from higher dimensions clothed in fur and familiarity. And once you recognize them, the relationship shifts. You no longer own them, you honor them. You no longer expect obedience, you listen to their messages. Because the moment you realize what they truly are is the moment your own soul begins to remember its path again.
Chapter 8. The planet is changing, and so are the animals. You can feel it in the air, the pause before a storm, the rising pressure beneath ordinary days, the ache behind modern life that whispers something is shifting. And your animals feel it too. Not because they read the news, but because they read the field. They are listening to the vibration of the earth, and that vibration is getting louder. We're not just evolving, the planet is too. Earth's energetic frequency is rising. Her heartbeat, the Schumann resonance, is spiking. Her poles are wobbling. Her electromagnetic grid is pulsing new codes. And as these waves move across the globe, they affect not only the oceans and the sky, but the nervous systems of sentient beings, especially those most connected to nature, especially those already awake to energy. Dogs, cats, the sacred animals in your home. Animals are emotional radars for global frequency. When disaster is near, they act first. When death is close, they already know. When energy spikes, they move before the shift is even visible. Dogs pacing for no reason the day before an earthquake. Cats hiding the morning of a tragedy. Animals seeking out strangers in grief after global events. This is not coincidence. This is energetic resonance. They are attuned to the Earth's signals and to the collective vibration of humanity. During global crises, their gifts intensify. The 2020 pandemic marked a new threshold. Veterinarians worldwide began reporting unexplained animal behaviors. Dogs who sensed illness days before symptoms. Cats who refused to leave the side of emotionally collapsing humans. Pets who began acting out patterns that mirrored their owner's trauma. Because when humanity's vibration dropped, they held the line. They became stabilizers. They became anchors. They became living filters for fear, grief, chaos, and emotional fragmentation. They absorb the field. They feel the grid. Every solar flare, every collective meditation, every eclipse, every moment when millions of humans focus on a single emotion, your animal reacts. Some sleep more, some grow restless, some gaze into nothing as if watching the frequencies shift in real time. Because they are. The Earth is awakening, And the animals are responding, not just emotionally, not just behaviorally, but spiritually. Their telepathy sharpens, their energy sensitivity increases, their presence becomes more medicinal, more magnetic, more necessary. They are evolving, not away from us, but with us. You are not going through this shift alone. As the planet enters a new harmonic, as your nervous system is recalibrated, as old timelines collapse and new ones emerge, your dog is watching, your cat is holding space, your animal is transmuting what would otherwise break your system apart, not because they must, but because they came for this, because their awakening is synchronized with yours, because this isn't just your evolution, it's theirs too, and they chose to rise beside you.
Chapter 9. You were chosen too. What it means to be the human of a spiritual animal. You thought you adopted them. You thought you saved them. But what if, in truth, they chose you? What if every step, every synchronicity, every inexplicable encounter that brought this animal into your life was not an accident, but an initiation? Because they weren't the only one on a mission. You are the other half of the contract. Every spiritual animal has a counterpart, a human with a frequency just receptive enough, just cracked open enough to allow them to anchor their work in the physical realm. That human is you. And if they came into your life, it's because your soul called for them. Not from your mind, but from your vibration. You are not a pet owner. You are a frequency steward. You are the environment, the protector, the translator of energies between dimensions. You are the one they serve, but also the one they reflect. Because spiritual animals are mirrors of the soul. They show you your shadows. They rest in your wounds. They embody your vibration and whisper it back to you in every behavior, every gaze, every instinct.
Their awakening mirrors your own. Have you noticed? The more you meditate, the calmer they become. The more you heal, the more curious and expansive they act. The more intuitive you get, the more they begin to anticipate you almost before you think. Because as your vibration rises, they respond in real time. It's a dance of frequencies, a silent call and response, a sacred alignment written before time. Their mission activates yours. Your dog didn't come just to soothe you. Your cat didn't arrive just to observe you. They came to awaken the guardian within you, to remind you that your energy matters, that your frequency affects others, that your presence is your transmission. And as you begin to honor their sensitivity, you begin to honor your own. You become more aware, more coherent, more precise in how you show up, not just for them, but for the world. You were never just the human. You were the chosen vessel, the divine assignment, the one soul this being trusted to witness them, hold them, learn from them.
And now that you see what they truly are, you can no longer unsee what you truly are. A keeper of sacred intelligence, a partner in planetary healing, a guardian of a guardian. The next time they look into your eyes, see it differently. That is not a pet. That is a soul guide in disguise. And you are the only one they chose to walk beside. They saw your potential. They saw your softness. They saw your light even when you couldn't. Because spiritual animals don't just awaken alone. They awaken those who are ready to become what they came to protect.
Chapter 10. When they leave, the silent completion of their mission. You knew the day would come. You tried not to think about it. But when it arrived, something in you shattered. And yet, somewhere underneath the grief, there was something else. A stillness, a sacredness, a feeling you couldn't name. Because this was not just a death, it was a completion. Sacred animals don't just live, they serve. They come in silence. They walk beside you unseen. And they leave the moment their mission is fulfilled. Not a second too soon. Not a moment too late. Always in divine timing. They don't die. They transition. They release their form. They expand back into energy. And they leave behind an imprint on your soul that can never be erased. You feel it in dreams, in sudden memories, in the way you still hear their pause in the hallway, long after the hallway is empty. Because they're not gone. They're just free.
Their departure activates something in you. You awaken to your own capacity for love. You understand the depth of presence. You begin to sense energy more clearly because you've lived beside a master of it. Their parting was never abandonment. It was transference. I've done what I came to do. Now it's your turn. Their life was a message. Their leaving was the final transmission. And if you listen closely, you'll hear it. That they stayed until you could stand on your own. That they carried your pain until you were strong enough to carry your light. That they held the frequency until your field could sustain it alone. Their presence healed you, but their departure initiated you. Because some animals are not meant to stay, they're meant to awaken. And even in absence, they remain. In synchronicities, in feathers, in lights flickering, in the animal that looks at you just like they once did. They come back, not as form, but as field. They whisper in silence. They walk through dreams. They remind you, I was never just a pet. I was your mirror, your guardian, your turning point. Their mission ends,
yours begins. Now you carry what they taught you. Now you feel what they once felt. Now you are the field. Because when a spiritual animal leaves, it's not the end. It's the moment you become what they always saw in you. The light, the love, the awakening.
Final activation. This wasn't just about animals. This was about you. If your heart stirred, if your memories flooded back, if your animal's eyes will never look the same again, then you weren't just watching a video. You were remembering a truth your soul already knew. Your dog is not just loyal. Your cat is not just intuitive. They came for you in divine timing with a sacred purpose. And now you see it. They didn't arrive to be trained. They arrived to train your presence, to sharpen your energy, to awaken your remembrance. They didn't just come to live with you. They came to awaken you. Let this phrase anchor inside you. Let it become a mirror, a mantra, a memory. If this truth touched you, type it in the comments right now to seal the frequency. They came to awaken me. Let's create a field together. Let's honor them by speaking what we now remember, because the more this truth is spoken, the more it spreads, and the more others remember too. Share this with the ones who need to know, those grieving a loss, those wondering why their animal stares through the veil, those who've always felt, deep down, this was never just about companionship. This was a spiritual agreement, a divine orchestration, a vibrational initiation. And it's still unfolding, right now, in your home, in your heart.